Facts.
Ryan G in the building. Glad to be here tonight with Raw. Definitely a KOT reunion to talk some Knicks basketball. Let's go.
And of course, you already know my man's from the YouTube channel across the street. We call him the Raw Metaphor. When's the last time I had that intro? It is the Raw Hebrew
Redemption! Redemption with JEllis, Lee, and Ryan G. On the KOT.
Oh, man.
Redemption to mention.
Oh, my gosh. Good to have you back, bro.
Yeah, it's good to be back, man. It really is.
Yo, really good to see you again. Really good. It's funny. We're going to definitely talk about some Knicks. We're going to talk about Mitchell Robinson. We're going to talk about Diouara. We're going to talk about Thibodeau. We're going to talk about some things, all right? But you know what's funny? You know what I want to mention, Raw? It is so funny since you left, the full circle moment that's happened. Because since you left, Raw, Lee has become more of a Mitchell Robinson fan after you left.
And a Tom Thibodeau fan.
Oh my God! Wait, what happened to Lee Escobar? Wait, where'd he go? What y'all do with him?
I didn't even know who he was for the first 20 episodes. I was like, wait, what?
And I have become a Tyler Kolek fan. Oh my God!
Kolek Hive in the building.
Damn it.
There's something in the water, man. There's something.
It's that championship, man.
That's right. That's right.
Oh man, but good to have you back, man. Good to have you back. Speaking of Mitchell Robinson, let's get to this Mitchell Robinson news, man, because it's been interesting. It's been really interesting. First, I want to say it is official. Mitchell Robinson and Josh Hart will both be missing the opener tomorrow. Both Mitch and Rob. Mitch has a left ankle injury management. That's what it says. Left ankle injury management. Mm-hmm. Things that make you go, And Josh Hart with a lumbar spasms. Pretty much a bad back. Mm-hmm. My question to you is, I don't know if you guys feel the same way. Like, does this seem funny to you? Like the Knicks in general, they have a propensity to hide information. I know all you guys remember when Julius Randle first dislocated his shoulder in April before he leaves. We was told it wasn't that serious in April. 2 months later, he's having season-ending surgery. And I'm not saying that that's going to happen with Mitchell Robinson. I'm just saying the Knicks have been saying that Mitchell Robinson, is load managing for a week already. I don't think you load manage during the preseason only to miss the first game of the season. To me, an injury is happening. What's your take, Raw?
Well, you guys remember did you see in the last preseason game when Deuce took the hard fall? You guys heard that? He went up for a layup and somebody tried to block it and he fell and he took a hard fall. Yeah. And the way he fell was exactly the same way he did the hyperextension on his knee last preseason. And I was just looking at TV saying, Deuce, get up, get up, get up, get up. And then he gets up and then Brown asked him, are you okay? And he waves Brown off and he continues to play at a high level. If that was Mitchell Robinson, they take him out. So this is the difference. Somebody like Deuce can get a hard foul and he'll wave it off and they'll let him play. If Mitch gets the slightest pain in that left ankle, he's coming out. And he's not getting back in until he can say, there's no pain in my left ankle. And so somebody on my channel today described it as putting him in bubble wrap. And I think that's what they're doing.
So you think it's strictly precautionary and they're not withholding any information?
If he feels the slightest, because I actually saw the play where he hurt it. And I was like, did he just hurt his left ankle? And then he was out and he didn't come back in. And of course, they made no announcement about it.
Right.
He hurt his ankle. I don't know if somebody fell on it, but he fell to the ground and it was on the left ankle. And I said, shoot, is he okay? And he was moving slowly, but then they took him out. He didn't come back in. He played less than 13 minutes the last time he played. So I was like, okay, is he hurt? But then typical Knicks, they didn't announce anything.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden now it's left injury. So I'm like, anytime this guy gets any type of pain on anything to do with that left ankle or his left leg or anything like that, they're going to take him out. And they're going to wait until he's better to come back. They're going to make sure and I don't know if I'm not saying I like it. I'm just saying they're just being extra precautious to make sure he stays healthy for as many games as possible, even if it means he has to miss a game. And they're figuring, look, Max Strus is out. Darius Garland is out. The other guy that they got from DeAndre Hunter might be out. He's questionable. So if they're going to go against them, they probably figure they can handle it without Mitch and possibly without Josh.
I hope you're right, because I'm doom and gloom.
Yeah.
I'm doom, not surgery, but like I feel like something is wrong, but I hope you're right. What are you thinking? What are you thinking, Lee? I feel like you was about to say something.
I'm not looking at this as like chaos at all. It's not like bothering me whatsoever. I think Mitch is a player like OG Anunoby, even more so. You have to take precaution with, because I hate to say it, but he's extremely injury prone because he plays so hard and he puts his body on the court and gives 102% on every single possession on the defensive side of the ball. So if you're going to put him in bubble wrap and hold him off for long stretches of the season in succession throughout, months beyond just back to back, I'm 100% okay with that. There were a lot of people on Twitter today that were very outraged over this, saying that we need to trade him immediately, looking at someone with zero playoff experience like Walker Kessler as some type of replacement, like he can bring the same level of defensive impact as Mitchell Robinson. I think it's actually okay this season, because it's not like we have a bum like Nerlens Noel on the bench. No offense to him, but I think the guys we got are way better in terms of their overall impact. And I'm talking about Ariel Hotporty and Trey Jamison III. Really love Trey Jamison's screen setting, his defense, boxing out, fundamentally sound. Let's see what we got in this cadre of young kids that we got. Give each of them an opportunity. Mix and match. This isn't the Thib era anymore, so anything's possible. We can't guess what he's going to do. We have 5 years of Tom Thibodeau. Eventually we could kind of guess what he was going to do. We don't know what Mike Brown's going to do, so let's leave it up in the air and see what chance has in store for us, and see what our young kids have in a regular season game in real minutes.
Ryan.
Well, I'll say this. A part of me thinks that if Thibs was still coaching, Mitch would be playing and Josh Hart would be out there with the finger looking like a slinky and all that. I don't know. That's just me. But I mean, in all honesty, I think the way the Knicks are looking at this, I think they're looking long term. I think they're looking like, the playoffs are what matters. We want to make sure these guys are healthy, so that when we get to the playoffs, and we can just, we got the healthy squad and we can just go. So I'm not really reading too much into it. Of course they're going to be extra careful with Mitch, because they know that when Mitch is on the court, he impacts the game in so many ways on the defensive side of the ball. And he also impacts the game offensively as well with the offensive rebounding and the screens that he sets. So the Knicks, I think this shows that the Knicks do see Mitch as an integral part of the team, and they just want to make sure that that they're doing everything within their power to make sure that Mitch is healthy once the playoffs come around. So alarm bells are not ringing to me as of yet. I'm just looking at the situation, and I just think that at the moment they're just being careful with Mitch. They're not trying to push anything or anything of that nature.
I guess I have PTSD. It's just me again. Because I remember that. I remember when Obi Anunoby hurt himself and he was supposed to come back earlier. He didn't. They kept pushing that back. I have PTSD with these Knicks injury reports, because they just be lying on stuff. They just be lying. But I hope you guys are right, because I feel like we absolutely need Mitch to play to get far, to win the chip, really. And it's funny when we're talking about keys to winning a championship. I was talking about defense. And when I said defense, I really meant the non-Mitch defensive minutes. That's the non-Mitch defensive minutes. And Mike Brown is going to earn his money early because we're about to see what this defense looks like without Mitch. Because you remember last year, we was damn near bottom of the league without Mitch playing defense. So my question to you guys right now is, how do you see the starting lineup moving forward without Mitch? Because the Twin Towers were set to be the starters. So who do you feel like should start, Raw?
Well, I mean, I'm of course going to defer to Deuce, but Mike Brown, I have no idea what he's going to do here. I have no idea. If it was Tom Thibodeau, Deuce would start, but this ain't Tom Thibodeau. You might see Diouara start. I don't know. I have no idea what he's going to do tomorrow. I really don't. So I am confident, though, that whoever starts, they pretty much, like, for example, let's just, for the sake of this argument, let's just say Deuce starts. They still are going to have a very strong bench. I actually prefer to start Hukporti and have Jamison with the second unit. That's what I prefer to do, especially if your plan long term is to play Twin Towers with Mitch Robb and Cat. So, but of course, because Deuce is my dude, I want him to start. But I can see either of them starting or neither of them starting. So I have no idea. I don't have any, like, I knew what to expect with Tom Thibodeau before he even came to New York, just his style. I have no idea what to expect from Coach Brown.
Okay, so you would want Deuce to start, but you're suspecting Ariel would start.
I'm thinking Ariel might, because if he's going to play the Twin Towers set, that allows Ariel to get comfortable with that. He has to know both the 4 spot and the 5 spot, and it gives him a boost of confidence from the coach that he's earned a starting spot and earned some trust. And I think Hook would respond good to that. I think he would, and I'm really pro Jamison in that. I think they should convert him to a regular contract, but they'd have to make a trade to do that. But that's another story.
Yo, Raw, this is why we be on. I was saying 2 post games ago, I'm starting the Jamison Hive. It's only me and like 5 people. I guess we got Raw now. We got Raw. All right, we growing. but it's like, so my case for starting Jamison was the defense. I felt like his verticality is probably the best on the team defensively, outside anybody named Mitchell Robinson.
Right.
The block,
he gets a lot of deflections. He's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
exactly. He gets a lot of deflections. He's not super athletic. He just doesn't make mistakes, and he's tall enough to stand up to these bigger guys.
That's right.
And I feel like he might have like a slight edge defensively over Ariel Hukporti, which is why I was like, damn, I feel like I would like Trey Jamison to start. Just if I'm talking about the best balance for the team, I would like that. Outside of Deuce McBride, of course, because I would like Deuce to start too. But when I think about the money says Ariel would start, even though basketball to me says Trey Jamison should start. Because Trey Jamison's on a 2-year contract.
Right.
He can only play 50 games. And Ariel is more seen as a longer term piece. The fact that Trey Jamison started over Ariel in preseason makes me think that the coach might favor him defensively. Because you know what he said when he started Diouara, he said, I started Diouara because he earned it in practice. So to me, if he started Trey over Ariel, it might be the same thinking. He felt like maybe Trey earned it in practice. He also shouted out Trey in the preseason game, saying he had the best defensive,
because he had all those deflections.
Yeah. So my brain says Trey should do it, but then the way the business is set up, I feel like it would be Ariel or Deuce because of their contracts.
I don't think you can go wrong either way, but I agree with you 100%. I like Trey Jamison. He's going to be 26. Ariel's 23. So Trey's body is more mature. And you can see the boy is strong as an oak, man. So I like that. He's not a superstar, but he's not going to make, like you said, he's not going to make a lot of mistakes. He's very solid, very serviceable. And in that position, they got 4 guys that need the ball, so he works out, man. So I think you can't go wrong. Hook, Jemison. That's the thing about this team, though. You can't go wrong with Hook. You can't go wrong with Jemison. You can't go wrong with Deuce. You can't really go wrong. It's just different styles, different ways of attack, but you really can't go wrong.
For versatility. Good, Ryan.
Yeah, definitely. Thinking, at least the way I look at it, if Mike Brown was set to start Mitch and Cat in the front court together, this would lead me to believe that he's probably going to stick to that. Although, even though Garland's going to be out, I do think you could get away with starting McBride in the backcourt because Cleveland has a small backcourt anyway. So I think you could get away with starting McBride next to Brunson in that case. But seeing that Brown, it looks like he's leaning towards the 2 big lineup. I think he's going to insert either Huck Porty or Jemison as that starting big next to Cat. And I would lean towards Huck Porty. I would think that he would start because Huck Porty has more chemistry with the team, been here longer, things of that nature, while Jemison is still trying to, trying to adjust because, he still needs to get to know the players and things of that nature. So I would think off of chemistry alone, probably Huck Porty slides into that starting spot and then Jemison comes off the bench. That's what I would assume. And I think, with Huck Porty being a younger player, I think the Knicks would probably want to see what they got in Huck Porty, and start him as well in that game. So I think he would probably lean towards Huck Porty with Jemison coming off the bench to give him, some relief once he's out the game. But me personally, I don't think you can go wrong with Deuce in the backcourt. I think you can get away with it in Cleveland with the small backcourt. And even if he goes 2 bigs, it's Jemison defensive specialist. You can play him next to Cat. Huck Porty, he's not as good defensively as Jemison, but I think he's competent enough to where you can play him next to Cat. So either way, I'm not worried. But if I'm guessing, it's Huck Porty and Cat in the front court. If I have to guess.
All good points.
This is why KOT is such good Knicks commentary, because none of us are overreacting. None of us are throwing an emotional tantrum, and none of us are saying anything ridiculous about the rotation or trade anyone. It's just there's no knee-jerk reaction here. We know the guy.
You mean we're not for the fans, by the fans? No.
It's so good to have you back, Raw. we might not have everything in common, but we do tend to be disgusted by the same things.
Oh, God.
When it comes to Mitchell Robinson sitting, what I want to happen doesn't matter. Who cares? But if I'm going to say I want Deuce to be the 5th starter all season, it's funny. Tomorrow night, it's actually better to start Huck Porty because of what Cleveland provides, which is a giant front court between Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. They have a lot of rebounding on the wing, too. And Donovan Mitchell's a good rebounder himself at the 2-guard position. So it makes more sense to have Huck Porty at the 5. If it's Trey Jamison, not only would I be surprised, but I would be really intrigued with how the course of his season is going to go under Mike Brown. That means, just like this show, anything's possible if Trey Jamison is the starter at night. But I like Huck Porty for his offense. Love that mid-range push shot that he has. His screens are getting better. He's not the screen setter, in my opinion, that Trey Jamison is. He's got – someone in the chat said he has the Obi Toppin hips. He does a little bit. But I love the offensive awareness that he brings as a screen and cutter, someone who can get to the hoop and do that push shot or that floater shot. He's got a little bag of tricks in there in the mid-range spot. But we're going to be okay, man. Cleveland doesn't have Garland. They don't have Strus. They don't have DeAndre Hunter. So I think even without Mitchell Robinson and Hart, it's still a dub for us. I'm not trying to discount them. But if our injuries match up with their injuries, I think that the favor tilts in our side because we have Cleveland's number. Some teams have our number, like the Indiana Pacers. We have Cleveland. So I'm not really concerned at all.
And some people say We've seen Ariel Hukporty practicing corner threes. That'll be huge. That is huge.
Crazy. That'd be unbelievable.
That's huge for him because he already has that push shot. Offensively, he's aggressive. He's like you say, he's learning to set screens. Adding a corner three for him would be huge for him and his team if he can get like one or so a game. That'd be great. That'd be amazing.
We saw
it looks
pressure
smooth.
shooting
It looks smooth.
that turned out.
Yeah. $10 super chat. Hold on. Got $10 super chat from Yuri Ark. Says, hey, Hebrew. The Knicks plan to be extra careful with Mitch ankle and Hart back. The Knicks are evaluating both of them. They will be out for the next few weeks per Ian Begley. Oh, that's new. Oh, snap.
No, he made a mistake. He meant to say days.
Yeah, because I'm reading Ian Begley's tweets right now. It definitely doesn't say weeks.
Oh, he had me at a heart attack.
It definitely doesn't say weeks.
He meant to say days. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. Thank you. All right. Breaking news. They will be out for the next few days. All right. Okay. We already talked about Mitchell Robinson being out, but also Josh Hart is out as well, which kind of coincides with some other news that I want to discuss. The ascension of a new kid that Knicks Nation is getting behind right now. We'll see how long we stay behind them. All right, pause. Mohamed Diouara. All right, Mohamed Diouara.
Oh, love this kid.
The 51st pick of the 25th draft just had his Exhibit 10 deal converted to a standard one, a 1-year rookie contract. All right. Shout out to Diouara. All right, and they did a little bit early. It looked like he showed out. The Knicks was like, oh, word, we're going to reward you for showing out. We're converting that contract to a 1-year rookie deal. And you know what? Typically with somebody like this, you wouldn't expect him to get any minutes. But with Josh Hart out, us being thin in backcourt as far as wings go, we do have wings, but it's like we have small lineups. There could be an opportunity for him to get some spot minutes here. I don't know. Am I far off? What do you think? What do you think, Raw?
I called him from the summer. I didn't know anything about him until he came to Summer League.
Mm-hmm.
But once I saw him in Summer League, I knew he was going to push for minutes because he already in the Summer League, he was playing NBA level defense. His offense was still a work in progress, and it still is, but he's not afraid on the offense. He'll be aggressive. He moves the basketball, but he's already, and that's saying something for a rookie that he just turned 20. I mean, he's playing NBA level defense already. So I can understand why they started. And I mean, y'all tell me what you think, but I thought him, Jameson, with the other guys on that starting Looney the other day looked damn good, man. So especially on the defensive end of the floor. So I was like, okay. And I think he was plus 20, something craziness like that. So
I think he had like the second highest plus minus on the team.
I still don't know how it's going to happen because if you look at the roster, there's no minutes for him. But I think he's going to push for 6 to 8 minutes per game. He's just that good defensively, and he uses that 7-foot wingspan. And I don't know how tall he is. I thought he was 6'9". Somebody said he's 6'8". But he does look every bit of 6'9" to me. I don't know. He does to me. But 6'9" that could play 3 positions. I don't know, man. I like him. I like him a lot.
Even if he is 6'9", his wingspan looks way beyond 6'9".
I know. His 7-foot wingspan. He definitely got a 7-foot wingspan.
Yeah. Which why he's so crazy. And shout out to Ebony because she said the exact same thing that you said about being fearless offensively, even though he's a rookie. He's fearless offensively down to from his shot, the shots he takes. It seems like he takes the correct shots.
Yep.
When he's open, he shoots. Down to the passes he throws. Like he'll go down there and he'll throw passes and off the dribble right into the man's hands, right into the pocket. And for some 6'9" guy to do that,
that's right,
is mind-boggling.
He handles the ball for a rookie. He handles the ball very well, man. I mean, he's 6'9" rookie, man. He's 20 years old. I was like, they got him at 50. Holy crap! Somebody needs to give. Who is it? Walt Perrin. He needs to get a raise, man. Oh my god.
This is like I've never been this hyped about the 50th pick in my life. This is
That's
ridiculous.
saying, man. Oh man.
Riley,
Yeah, I agree with everything Ross said on Diouara. Y'all know me, man. I was hyping him at the same time period. I knew nothing about him. Couldn't even pronounce his name before he was drafted. And someone had to say his name because I was going to botch it being a French surname. But the kid is unbelievable. It shows a lot of promise. I say unbelievable for context, for what he is. He's second round draft pick. And Raw's right about the handle, especially in transition, where he's able to gather, switch hands if needed, and then finish on the break. That is something I maybe only seen from Obi Toppin year one, and that's really exciting. Diouara is actually my favorite kid the Knicks have ever had during my fandom. I started watching in 2002, and he's absolutely my favorite. He's my favorite rookie we've ever had because I think the ceiling is the type of player I really like, which is OG Anunoby. I think that is right. If he tops out defensively, he could be that. I'm not going to go as high and say he could be passed out Siakam. Maybe Lamar Odom if he completely hits and is like a 1 in a billion generational second round pick. But we already have one of those in Jalen Brunson, so I don't know what the likelihood is that we have two. But love the fundamentals on the kid. Love how aware and aggressive he is.
Yeah,
as a rookie too. No matter what level he's playing at summer league, preseason, or whatever rotation the opposing team is putting on the floor. Either he has the same attack mode mindset, and I love that about him. He seems to be able to fit with any other combination of 4 players too, which is also exciting.
I think that's that. And we're so thin. I'm so tired. I love our team, but every time we go into the bench for the last 4 years, we've been like the Munchkinland crew. It'd be nice to have somebody who can guard a wing or power forward coming off the bench, which is why I feel like he might challenge for minutes depending on the matchup, I think. Even though I feel like Sham is definitely gonna shine with Hard out, but I do feel like there's gonna be one eye on Diouara for certain matchups.
Yeah, for me, seeing that the Knicks are gonna be without 2 rotation pieces to start the season, if I'm Mike Brown, I'm throwing Diouara in the fire because for me, I feel like he's shown in the preseason and summer league that his defense is already there, and he's a player that you can plug and play. You don't have to run any plays for him. You don't have to run any specific offense for him. He's just a player that you could just put into the lineup, and he's just gonna just mesh. So just off that alone, I would throw him into the fire the first game of the season because I'm a firm believer in when in the regular season, I feel like bench players, you have to give them minutes. You have to try to get these guys up and running with as much confidence as they can get. Because last year, I feel like part of the reason why the Knicks failed to get to the finals is because during the regular season, Thibs didn't depend on his bench like that. Yeah. Thibs kept his rotation very short, and he didn't play guys like Shamet on the end of the bench. Who else we had? Dillon Wright and guys like that. And so they had to catch up. They had to come up to speed during the playoffs. Whereas if he was giving these guys, minutes during the regular season, these guys would have been more ready to go, and the bench would have been deeper in the playoffs. So I'm a firm believer in the bench guys, even the guys at the end of the bench. You have to get them up and going. You have to try and find some playing time for these guys, so that if you need them in the playoffs, they'll have the confidence and they'll be ready to go. So for me, I would throw Diouara in there, and I feel like he's definitely going to challenge for minutes. I think it's going to be tough with the bench the Knicks currently have because guys like Josh Hart, I can't see him really, start planting him, in the rotation because Josh Hart, although, we say that, his defense kind of has slipped within recent years, Josh Hart still provides a whole lot to the team. He rebounds the ball. He's a one-man fast break. And although his defense has slipped, he's still a decent defender. He's not really a loss on defense, although his defense has slipped. So I feel like it's going to be hard for him to get minutes throughout the season. But in situations like this where you have 2 rotation pieces out, I think this is the time where you give him playing time and helping to get some experience. So that in case of the Knicks need him in the playoffs, he'll be ready to go.
All good points. Yo, Raw, if you gotta go, just let me know, man. You can dip out. But I definitely appreciate it.
I got a few minutes.
All right, cool. So, yo, salute to the chat. We see y'all active 69 over here on YouTube land. If you like the channel, hit that like and subscribe. We're gonna be here after every game talking Knicks basketball and throughout the week talking about Knicks news. Tomorrow at noon. Shout out to Ebony. She's gonna be doing a pregame show. So if you want to get notified when that happens, hit that notification bell so you'll be aware when that pregame show will hit. Also, if you don't know Raw already, living legend in the Knicks land, you probably already subscribed to Raw's channel, but subscribe to your Raw's channel as well. Raw Hebrew Remnant. Shout out to Raw. All right. Yo, okay, so I need to talk to you about this. I know you've been keeping up with the Knicks news. Malcolm Brogdon has just retired. The backup point guard position is pretty much point guard by committee. Ian Begley has reported on the putback that, you know what, if things get dire, there'll probably be a trade that happens during the trade deadline to bring in a point guard. I don't know if you guys even thought that far, that who that point guard would be if that was to happen. The best thing I heard in that Ian Begley news report was he felt like Spencer Dinwiddie was not going to be one of those options. He felt that way. But are you guys worried about the backup point guard playing out? Are you guys even looking ahead at free agency to fill that position and figuring out what to do in the future, or are you just letting it play out?
If you look at the way the front office has moved over the last 5 years, this is what they're probably going to do. They're going to play it out. And when you're going to use Deuce and Kolek, those are going to be your backups. If it falls apart, they're already now looking at players. And they're going to figure out who's available at the time of the trade deadline or when you need a free agent. Now, Leon, he's looking already. He's already got a list. And he's looking at them, and then he's going to look at that list and say, okay, who's available? This is my first guy, second guy, third guy. And he'll go after that like he did last year with DeLon Wright. He'll do that, and he'll figure it out. So I'm very confident in the front office that I already know they got a list of guys. Who it is, I don't know, but they got it. They're going to let these guys play. Because it could turn out these guys could be usually successful, and they don't need any trade. And if that's the case, they don't need to make any moves. So they'll let that run. And then come time you get to January or mid-season, they got a list, and they'll say, okay, on our list, who's available? And they'll start reaching out and quietly reaching out to teams and seeing who is available, who's going to get waived, who's going to be available in the free agent market. So they'll figure it out. So from looking at him, that's the way I think they're going to do it.
What you thinking, Ryan?
For me, I think they're gonna play it. They're gonna play through the season. They're gonna look at the roster and be like, okay, we're gonna do it by committee. You have Clarkson, you have McBride, you have Shamet, you have guys that in spurts can play the point guard position. So I feel like they're gonna evaluate it throughout the season and be like, okay, once the trade deadline comes, do we need a player to really play that backup point guard role, or are we good with what we have? So I don't think Leon is gonna really be desperate to bring in a backup point guard at the beginning of the season. I think he's gonna let it play out. Then as the season goes on, if it becomes a dire need, then I think he's gonna act on it and either bring in somebody during the trade deadline or possibly further down the line towards the playoffs, maybe bringing somebody off the waiver wire if somebody gets waived or something like that. So at the moment, I don't see it as a dire need where the Knicks have to go for a backup point guard right at this moment.
I feel like Lee got a list already.
Jay, I'm sure it's going to upset Raw as much as it upset you. When I first said it, I was a fan of Spencer Dinwiddie. He's a gamer. I liked being in Dallas, got to go to playoff games, watching him live. He always stepped up in the playoffs, and I always respected that about him. But I did say if they don't sign him, that's because the intel is coming from Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, and Casey Smith. 3 guys that know Spencer Dinwiddie very well. from his time in Dallas and Brooklyn. So I'm sure Leon had conversation with his godson, and I'm sure Casey Smith had a conversation with Leon, was like, he's not a good teammate. That is a part I don't know because I'm not there in the locker room. So if they didn't sign off on it, he would have already been signed if he would have gotten the okay from those three guys, and he didn't, and that's why he's still a free agent. So moving on from that, I'd say free is me, like Ebony. Let's see what internally we have in the same way I looked at the center position for Trey Jamison, Hot Porty, but get more minutes and more usage and see what they can do on both ends. To me, it's Kolek and Deuce McBride. It's man up to man the point until, as Raw mentioned, that trade deadline comes up and we have some leverage with the deadline ending. We can then attack that list, which Leon always has a list. That list is for every position for the next 3 or 4 years while he's operations. So, hey, man, if it works out where we get someone, cool. If it doesn't, cool. I think it's going to end up in the same result personally, which is a chip. But I like the roster we have.
Man, I really like. I'm starting to like Kolek as an option. I just don't see where he gets minutes. It's tight back there.
That's a tough one. I don't know if I like.
No, but I gotta be real. I mean, Leah's right. I mean, I hate Spencer Dinwiddie because of his Knicks hate.
Me too.
Front, he's a big time player, and especially in big spots, he does show up. So, but am I right? Did you hear? I heard he could have got a guaranteed deal with Charlotte and voluntarily gave it up. So I thought maybe his agent must have somebody for him already. I thought that he would be signed by somebody, probably a contender of some sort. Because I read that it seemed like he had the opportunity to sign a minimum deal and decided not to do it.
Maybe he just wants to contend or something. Like he's getting older. He probably don't want to play for a team. He feel like he isn't going anywhere. That could be it too.
Yeah.
YN University.
Yeah, like who wants to be the unk in the YN University? He's like, that's a lot of pressure.
It's crazy. You would think the Houston Rockets would have signed him because they're playing Amen Thompson at point guard right now. They're up with him at point guard, but still, it's like they only had Reed Shepherd with the Van Vliet injury. You would think that would be a good destination, but coaches talk, GMs talk, players talk, and they're constantly moving around the league. So maybe there seems to be a reputation for Spencer Dinwiddie to not be a good teammate, which is why he's still on the outs for now. Could change.
All true, all facts. I thought about it too. It's like if we're depending on how our substitution patterns go, I feel like we'll be all right. Because I'm not gonna lie, when we first got Malcolm Brogdon, I was kind of relieved because that was still like a question mark in my brain until I saw him play. Then when I saw him play, I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
I was like, uh-oh. But it's like, so it's like there was times last season where Brunson was on the bench and we did pretty well with Cat and like a cast of characters. So I think Cat with like Big Bride and those guys could do some damage off the bench and we'd still be okay. Offensively might not look the best, maybe. But that might be the solution moving forward and just see how it goes and see what it looks like. But it took me a while. It took me to sleep on it to like get to that conclusion. Because when that first happened, I was like, okay, well, what's happening with the backup point guard? I'm not sure exactly. All right. But I'm cool with it now. And I'm cool. I'm definitely cool with it. But I want to get your guys thoughts on something else that y'all might not be cool with. Tom Thibodeau, man. Tom Thibodeau is a free agent right now. He's just chilling. Every time Tom Thibodeau gets fired, he goes on a little tour. He visits teams. He gets knowledge. Because, basketball is like, my man's not married. Don't got kids. Basketball is life. He gets fired. He in his free time, what is he going to do? He's going to visit other basketball teams and get more intel. And oddly enough, he visited a team that Knicks Nation might not be too fond of. Tom Thibodeau visits the Boston Celtics. And Jaylen Brown kind of comments that they talked to Tom Thibodeau. Tom Thibodeau talked to them, and he told them how they lost. The things that he saw that he exploited for the Knicks to get the victory. He explained to them, this is what you need to shore up. Now, ask the English panel, does that rub you the wrong way? Did you wake up did you read this and just grind your gears? Were you like, how could he? I'm going to be honest. You fire me from a job, I'm going straight to the ops tomorrow. Like, come on now. Like, these are the secrets. His wife don't like him, you know. Can you blame the kid? I don't know. He took the Knicks to the Eastern Conference Finals, and then he got canned. Is he supposed to be loyal to a team who fired him?
Nope.
Okay.
I mean, look. Plus, he got $30 million coming, right?
Sure do.
Mother flock the Knicks, man. Shoot. He did what he wants. He went out to Houston. He was in OKC. Now he's in Boston. He can go anywhere he wants. I don't care what he does because it's a free agent. He can do what he wants. The Knicks fired him. That's the Knicks' choice. And his choice is free choice. He can go wherever he wants. So, yeah, he go there. And Tom's one thing, Tibbs, I don't think he's thinking about it. I'm going to give it to the Knicks because they fired me.
Right.
I think he's just loves talking basketball, right, gaining and sharing knowledge. I mean, just like he went to Boston and found, probably told them, this is what y'all did wrong last year. This is how we beat you. He probably is figuring out, how did y'all win the chip? What did you do differently? He's probably going both ways with that.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Out there exchanging information. He's probably learning how they ran their 5-out offense for those years successfully.
Right.
And we used to work for the Celtics. I think people forget that.
Right.
He has a relationship
with them. He won a chip with them. Yeah. So I mean, I think it's kind of silly. It's probably some teenagers tripping, but I didn't think it was anything of it. I thought it was good for him, to be involved with the game, because to me, you want to torture Tom Thibodeau, take basketball from him, and that's his torture. I mean, he probably loves talking basketball 24/7. So I don't think that's a problem. And that's one of the things I liked about the Knicks hiring him in the first place. He's dedicated to the game. You may not like the decisions he makes or how he runs his lineup, but you cannot deny he is all in on basketball. He's totally focused on trying to do what he does. So I appreciate that. Like, I couldn't say that about Phil Jackson, right? So
oh no, he was sleeping.
Yeah.
Oh man, any other thoughts?
Yeah, man, this is like classic Knicks for clicks.
Yeah.
I wish it was only teenagers that were getting upset about it, but it's definitely some grown-ass men over the age of 40, like an hour-long spaces on Twitter, crying their eyes out and being overly emotional about Tom Thibodeau talking to other teams. This is like a real thing that happened today. It's sad, that's reality, but a lot of people view sports the same way they view politics. They get completely emotionally invested in it. They get partisan about it, and they take slights as emotional slights instead of Tom Thibodeau having the right to do whatever the hell he wants to do with his paycheck and with his time. It doesn't bother me at all because Jalen Brunson's better than any scheme. It don't matter what you tell them about Jalen Brunson. He has a counter for every counter. So it don't matter. Tell him whatever you want. Tell him he can't go right. Tell him he struggles, finishing in traffic, or he doesn't want to pull up from three from these two spaces on the perimeter. Do whatever you want. There's tape. This is the year 2025. Everyone has an internet connection. Everyone can watch as much video as they want on Brunson. It doesn't matter. He's still going to drop 30 on you.
That's right.
Oh my God! Tell him he can't go right.
I'm going Jet. Been real, man. We got to do this again.
Yeah, that's fine. Listen, we pretty much done. That's all the topics anyway.
Oh, all right. JEllis.
I do want to get my thoughts though.
Oh, go ahead.
I do want to get my thoughts.
Ryan. You can dip raw.
Because what I was gonna say is show Thibodeau the dough. He is a traitor. You see, once a Nick, always a Nick. My ass. All right, let me be real for a second. I mean,
Ryan ain't having the fuckery. He's not having the fuckery.
I don't. To me personally, like I don't really give a damn because honestly, Missoula, like honestly, like once the season ended, I'm pretty sure Missoula went over like minutes and minutes, hours and hours of tape trying to figure out what the hell did the Celtics do wrong in that series and how the Knicks were able to beat them in that series. So I'm pretty sure the Celtics already had some kind of idea of what they needed to improve on. Thibs is just pretty much, giving them that cosign, like, this is what you need to work on, and and the Celtics were probably like, yeah, we saw this on tape, so we already saw this ahead of time and this and that. Thibs just pretty much giving them the cosign, and they probably already know ahead of time, like, okay, we need to work on this, we need to work on that. So to me, I don't really see it as a big deal. I'm not really sure why you have grown men wilding over this. I mean, like, this is what coaches do. Coaches watch tape, they figure out what did they do wrong, and then they try to implement these changes so that the team can be better going forward. So it is what it is. I mean, at the end of the day, Dibs gave us a good 5 years, in New York. He's pretty much the reason why the team is as good as they are today. I'm not gonna all of a sudden be like, slew him, throw him to the wolves. Like, nah, I'm like, to me, it's no big deal. I mean, Thibs is free to do what you want to do. This doesn't make him a turncoat of any type, of any nature. So to me, it's like, it is what it is. I mean, no big deal. Knicks gonna still smack the Celtics this season anyway, so it is what it is.
If Jaylen Brown couldn't figure out that he needs to work on his right hand by now, then I don't know. I don't think Tibbs is the deciding factor, but whatever. All right. That's the show, guys. Thank you guys for watching, man. Salute to people in the chat. Sideline, Wolverine, Nostalgia, JT Riddick, Julian Blum. Everybody else is rocking with the KOT show. We appreciate you guys. Also, the super chats. We also appreciate you guys as well. But Raw, man, let them know they can find you, man.
Raw Hebrew Remnant on YouTube.
Absolutely. Lee, let them know they can find you, man.
At Twitter _Lee Escobedo, LeeEscobedo, and check out the KOT Substack. Did a Q&A with Shax from the Strickland on all the plays that he's seen from Mike Brown this far in summer league, preseason, and what he expects the first couple of games of the season to also unfold. So we had a great conversation on X's and O's, very long conversation too. I had to edit it, and it was still like super damn long. So I tried to break it up with some video, explanatory video on what some of these sets are, especially the horn sets, so people did understand what Brown's going to be running some of the time. I did Jalen Brunson and mismatches. So great conversation. He's a bright young kid, only 21 years old. And he's already far ahead of me when I was he's far ahead of me now. So shout out to him, man, a young prodigy.
That's what's up. Man, if you gotta edit it down, you need to do a two-parter. All right.
Thought about that. I kind of want to have him on the pod.
Yes, we love X's and those guys here for sure. All right. And Ryan G, let me find you, sir.
You can find me on Twitter at RyanGKOT. You can also find me on Instagram at Sir G is Chillin'.
Sir G is chillin'.
That's SIR. G is CHILLIN. Also, make sure you check out that KOT Substack with my boy Lee Escobedo. Make sure you read up on that. And yeah, that's all I gotta say.
And don't forget Knicks pregame with Ebony tomorrow at noon. Definitely check that out. All right. That is the show. Thank you guys for watching. And as always,
shout out the World Wide West. Everywhere we go, we leave a worldwide mess.
It's a mess out here in these Knicks streets. We out of here. Yeah, bro. Like, you remember that, bro.
New York, big city of dreams. New York, big city of dreams.
NYC.